Hey everybody, this is Ellie Trading. I am here. Happy Wednesday. It's the middle of the week, so I actually wanted to try to see if I can start doing these videos, like doing my end of the week recaps, see how the trades are going or how the charts are looking in the middle of the week and how we ended up at the end of the week. So I just wanted to try to play around just to see how things are going. So I actually previously looked at my previous recording that I did on last Friday, which was end of last week, but it was for the beginning of this week. Right now it is June 3rd. So what I did the recording, it was like May 30 something, but it was for May 31st, June 1st, basically, week coming up. All right. So anyway, we are Wednesday. We're in the middle of the week. So let's take a look at these charts. Let's see what we've already been doing. So we're going to lead off with Japan 225, my favorite as per usual. So as I said in the previous video, we were already, let me go here. We were here last time, right? And I said, look, we are completely bullish. We had a beautiful sell off with a tap here for a pullback to then just soar right on up. So, like I said in that previous video, that we were not done at all on rising up. But now we are starting to get to a point where I do feel like we're a little bit exhausted out. We are completely overextended. This is currently the 4-hour chart, and we made new highs on Japan at 68,809. So almost like 800 or 810, right? And it always depends on the chart that you're going off of. I trade with TradingView. My charting is from forex.com for when it comes for the forex pairs, right? So we already hit our top high. We came to retest it, came down, we came back up, and retested that again. So we're going to drop down to the 1 hour to see what happens. So we have a lot of like trying to break this ceiling, right? It's not going anywhere. It's pulling back to try to go back up, right? Pulling back to try to come back up, pull back, try to come back up. And we're not reaching those previous highs. Boom. So a double tap right here, come back. It's not making it, right? So this right here is one consolidation and then two retesting this all-time high. Now, because we are starting to hit a ceiling and prices falling out, means that I do think the sellers are starting to come in and we're going to start doing a nice little sell-off. So I do have my set alert for a sell-off. Think around this area. There's some support and there's a lot of support right here. So we have a lot of resistance here and we have some support that was created down here. So I have, as you can see, my alarms are set, and these are to let me know that one, when I'm in the trade, we're going the right direction, or if it goes back, if it reverses back or keeps on, it just lets me just mental note in my head that your instrument is moving, so be prepared or check a look at your charts to make sure you're still in profit or whatever. So we have this here. We have a nice little pullback, and we see that the support is kind of here and price is really stalling out. We're not doing any other major highs. So I would be interested in the sell now. I think Japan is run up, so now we need to do a pullback. Now, are we doing a complete sell off where we're going to be called bearish? I don't think so. I think we're doing a nice little pullback first. Then we're going to retest to see if we can come up and take that high again. If we can't, I do think then after that, if we cannot break that next high, that we will be starting to sell off. Price is very overextended. We have been bullish for a long time. Um, I do feel like we now need to do some liquidity and grab some money and go back to where buyers are sitting. So, where are buyers sitting? Good question. I'm still really trying to figure out exactly where they are. I can always just tell you where I think they are, but who knows? This area right here kind of sticks out to me. I've been doing a lot more studying on supply and demand and um, order blocks. This right here is an area, and oh, I do not want that. Oh my goodness. Do not want that. No free hand today. So this right here is very interesting to me. We have a major momentum candle. We have that bullish candle here. This for many people could be an order block, supply and demand. I don't know. They all seem the same to me. I just try to mark places where where a lot of action is going on, or where a lot of things jumped off or came down from. So here. So I would be very interested in that. People could say that there's a huge fair value gap. I don't know. To me, a lot of things look like fair value gaps. This looks like a fair value gap. This looks like a fair value gap, which technically was surpassed if you came here, but it was taken out here. Whatever. We're not going down that path. But just know that my trend line is still in stance right here. So I have my major, that was the steep trend line that I originally did on Friday. It's still standing true. So let's go ahead and see what we got the price action happening today. I am prepared for a sale. And like I said, I do have my sale marked at about 68,000. 68.50 around that area, give or take. And I would like for it to give me a nice little pullback. Um, it would be interesting because we are in the middle of the week. We were so bullish in the beginning of the week. So I would like to see how we end this week. Are we going to end bearish or bullish? That would be very interesting to see. So yeah, so this is just a recent update of the chart. So far so good. I was right in that we were bullish and that we were still going up. So let's check out the NASDAQ one. NASDAQ is still it did not hit my mark, but it was damn near close. It went topped out at being at 30,754. So about 750. Yeah, 750 would be a good institution or bank number. So even if we wanted it to go up to the 38,800, I think 820 would be a good number for it to aim for. If my fib was saying 813, I think 820 would be a good one. Okay, so let's go back to this. This is the 4 hour. As you can see, we were bullish. I said we were bullish the last time, still technically bullish. We are, and I keep trying to make this smaller. The trend line just keeps on going. The trend line is all the way back into like April. I want to say it's all the way back to April. Nope, March 29th, 30th. So that's how steep our trend line is. So we will be seeing some good big pullbacks. So I do think we are preparing to sell. It may not be this week, it may be beginning of next week, but I do start to see that we probably will start to sell off. And I do have a reason why I think we're also going to sell off. Let me go to the doxy or the dollar. All right. The reason why I do think that we are probably going to start selling off is because I have been doing a lot of correlations with my instruments. I've been looking at to see, when this moves, that affects that. When this moves, that affects that. So I've been looking at the dollar index. The dollar index actually broke through some previous support. We had a lot of consolidation here, as you can see in this green box here. A lot of consolidation. All right. So we recently broke 99.47, which is 50. And now it is Wednesday. It's almost the end of close. It's 427, 430. So it's 99.54 or 55, right? So one, if you look here to the left, we close up this gap right here. All right. Our real high on the dollar index is about a dollar. I'm sorry, $100, 100.659, right? That is the highest on the most recent run on it. It has gone a lot higher, but the most recent one would say March 26th is when I would say the most recent high was coming in. So now that we broke out of this consolidation zone, we are now trending up. Usually when the dollar is increasing, the indexes start to fall and gold starts to fall. So that is what I have been doing for correlation. Not always, but true. Sorry, my cat is very much wanting rubs and all the things. So he's very loud. So that is why I do think we're going to start selling off, especially for if not, especially for NAS and SPY. Not so much for Japan because Japan, I'm not sure. I would have to do more correlate, like more studying on that. But yes. As you can see already on SPY on the 4 hour, we have started to cross over that trend line and close under that trend line. So let's zoom in. This was like perfect. So we have right here the most recent high on SPY was 7,622. So you can round down to 20. Perfect. Tapped out, price is stalling, couldn't go anymore, so start to pull back. It broke previous supports, which was at 7,553. So it technically it may close. I think it will close. It got 30 minutes before it closes. So if it closes behind that sort that I'm sorry, closes below the support line, I would be interested in the sell. Now, I'm not going to start selling right away. I would like to try to see a retest and see another rejection. And then I would definitely put the down here for that support where it broke before. I will put myself there as a set limit for it to pick me up to so that I can ride down. A lot of times what happens is you're sitting and waiting for the trade and you still have a life to do. So I've just decided that lately I'm just going to put my set limits on. Um, for it to be filled. I have my stop loss for the next previous high, especially if I can afford it, depending on the lot size. And then put my point of where I think it's going to go, which is the next support area or the next low. So technically the next low would be 7,490. I might do slightly above it just in case it doesn't make it. And the reason why I do that is because if it's not done running being bullish, it is not going to take out the previous low. If it takes out the previous low, then you're looking for more shorts. That has just been my observation. It's not always true, but it's more true than not. So that is what I'm looking at for there. That is currently on SPY. Hold on one moment. All right, so we have that. So let me go back. So that's SPY. Um, I mean, I probably can trade SPY. I mean, it doesn't matter. I like to chart it because it does tell me a lot of information. So let me go back here. Don't want that. Okay. So next one is going to be gold. Gold finally did something. My God, today. It finally did something. That's, the one thing about me and my patience is that I just don't have any. My friend Elena will tell you that we're working on that and I'm a work in progress. But here we go. So here is finally breaking out of my consolidation box. And like I said, um, this is the observations that I have been making is that the indices in gold relate. So when they sell, the gold sells. When they run, they run. So I am expecting gold to finish out selling, but just even if we weren't doing that correlation, just from my charting, if we're breaking out of this consolidation zone. My target obviously would be this low here at 4,365. Hold on one. Okay, so we finally broke out of the consolidation zone. So my next target is going to be that previous low to the left, for it to be taken out. I want that to be taken out, which would be great, and then do a slight pullback to retest this area zone or the support that has been created here, and then come back down to this area of interest that I have here that I spoke about in my previous video. So far, so good. On the 4 hour, we're looking pretty good. We're looking for a sell and we're going down. Currently in a sell on my Forex account, and I can pull up my receipts. I have no problem doing that. And we had a nice rejection here on that 1 hour candle here, and then we're starting to go off. So I would not be surprised if we had open, if we have a huge gap down. If we do, wonderful. It gets me closer to my target faster. All right, so let's go to silver. Silver finally did something too. Finally, it took forever. So I had two consolidation zones, right? So in this big picture right here, I'm gonna get rid of these because right now they're not valid for me. I would be looking for anything below, not above. I don't know why they didn't disappear, but okay. So anyway, currently in the sale. So we had this huge consolidation right here, right? Because we were looking on the bigger time frame. And I'm saying to myself, man, we have been consolidating for a long time. There is a big move about to happen here. So then we did another consolidation range here. So that's why I have another purple box here. So we finally broke out of the one consolidation zone and we were working it into the other big consolidation zone. So I would be interested to see what happens in this area here where we created a major support and bounced off of, but we did not go past any of these areas here, which I was really leaning more towards a sell, but sometimes it's hard when the instrument is ranging to really get your position very well. So selling, and we're starting to sell. We sold out of the one consolidation zone. Now we're heading to the second consolidation zone. So I'm looking for it to break at 72.05. I'm looking for it to take the low point of 71.06 and do a slight pull up to retest this zone here and come back down to this area of interest. Again, I have area of interest on both gold and silver, and that is where they're like right before we have major lifts off at. Obviously silver's point of interest was much further back, like in December area, but there was a lot of potential stuff that were happening here. So I'm interested to see what happens down there. Next one is oil. So oil has definitely went bullish. I will admit that I was definitely bearish on it because one, I definitely have area interest down here. But when we opened up on Sunday night, it was a huge gap up. So I said, okay, well, that does make sense for it to try to go and reach this money pile here. There's a lot of money sitting here at this gap. So it's going to most likely gap up. This is UK oil, so Brent oil. So the gap still has not been filled on the UK, but it has been filled on the US. Boom. All right. So we are filled on the gap, so I can get rid of that and we can see how we're going to do. So we can be looking at this high at 97.26 or this high at 99.403. Now, again, this does make sense in my observation of if if the dollar index is going up, the indices go down, gold goes down, and oil goes up. Now we've already known that usually gold and silver are, I'm sorry, oil and gold are opposite. So when gold is going down, oil is going up. When oil is going down, still gold is going up. And, so if we just do a lot of like going back and looking at the chart, you can make the correlation. And I kind of keep that in the back of my head when I'm trading. So sometimes they will run the same way, but it's not always true. It was like this past week, everything was red. I was like, why is everything red? Like that doesn't make any sense. But sometimes it just happens to be that way. It's almost like meeting in the middle, right? So anyway, and if we look on this larger time frame here on the 4 hour, we also have no taken out of this big low here. So because of that, that's still technically bullish, right? So we have this run up here, come down, right? Boom, boom, doing all this big sell off here, but it didn't take out this low, it didn't fill up this gap or took out this low. All right, so apparently there's still stuff to do up here, up this way. I can get rid of this line here because we know we are bullish. We can get rid of this line and I will keep that line. I will keep that last one. So we have some next targets of being the ones that we just went over. So let's put some alerts there. Um, I might hop back in the trade. We'll see. I don't know. I have a lot pending already. I already have Japan and NAS set up for a sell, and I'm currently in the sales for silver and gold. So I don't want to over leverage myself too much. And then, so these are my future ones. Uh, and then the Doxy. So we're looking at the Doxy and we see what's going on with the Doxy, right? The dollar index. So like I said, broke out of this consolidation zone. So the targets for this would be, I mean, this is a long run up. 100.154. And am I finding these numbers? I'm just going back to the previous highs, the previous resistance. So there you go. So those would be my target. So we closed up this gap. Now we're going up and we're going to try to get this money here and that money here. Money's always sitting at the top of the highs or lows. Okay, so that is basically my midday recap. Midweek, sorry, not midday. Midweek. Okay. So let's see how it goes. I will come back on, well, Friday at work. So I will try to come back on Saturday and we take a look at the charts to see how, if I was on point or not. And there's a good chance that I'm not, and that's okay. It's still a learning experience, but now you know my thought process and see what I do. If you have any suggestions to make it any better, I'll take it too. But yeah, that's it. All right, you guys, I will see you. So again, currently we're looking for some pullback sell off on Japan and NAS and SPY, as well as a sell off or sells on gold and silver, bullish on all the oils, and the Doxy is bullish as well. So let's see how it goes for the rest of the week and going into the beginning of next week. All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.